Hello and welcome. This flight was from November 5th, 2015, and this was before I had the cable to hook up the headphones. So I'm going to do a voiceover while I'm watching it. This is me at Van Nuys taking off, and I believe I'm doing a soft field takeoff. Yeah, just rolling on out there. Probably have 10 degrees flaps. Looks like a good takeoff so far, staying right on that center line. And right at the numbers, yep, there I am. Clear the ground, staying low to pick up that airspeed. And we are up. And this video is a best of. So we're going to go right to flying over the Santa Monica Mountains. That's the Pacific Ocean. And you're looking at bits of Santa Monica off to the right and West LA off to the left. We're probably climbing through about 2,000 feet right now, but to get down to Orange County, to McClellan-Palomar, we're going to take the 2,500 foot VFR corridor over LAX. There's West LA. You can see those big buildings off to the left. That's Century City. Right, here we are. That's Santa Monica Airport. Right in front of the nose. Greater Santa Monica all around us. Santa Monica Pier, I think, is on the top to the right. The mighty Pacific Ocean. Holding a 2,500, and I am aiming for the visual reference point up ahead, which will take me to the east end of the runway, the east numbers off of LAX. And you can see LAX is that huge rectangle near the top of the screen. Any second now, we're going to do a magic video transition. Take a look at that sky, and you can see why I chose to make a nice long cross country today. That is LAX. It serves, I don't know, so many flights. It feels like they've got a flight every minute, about 24 hours a day. And here's an interesting thing. Count the runways. I'll give you a little hint. There are 4. Now, they all go the same direction, and it's 25 left. It's 5. No, 25 left, 25 right, and then 26 left, 26 right. We're over 26 right now. They actually go the same magnetic direction. They just ran out of lefts and rights. But anyway, the trick is to go over the east numbers on both sides as you transition, and that way the big metal coming in and out, you don't have to worry about you. And vice versa. It's always a thrill to fly over LAX. A tiny little tin box. Just enjoy this view for a little bit. The area south of LAX is incredibly busy, very dense. Alright, coming up on the next transition, which will show us another airport. I believe that is Hawthorne or Torrance, one of those. Not an airport I have to deal with, so I just thought it'd be interesting to see a small airport after seeing LAX. And for this flight, the ever-present Pacific Ocean is still ahead. We've gone a bit inland just to stay away from the flight path, but we get to go back to the shoreline in a bit, so I'm heading directly to that shoreline. With all of my jibber-jabbering, you probably haven't even noticed we've hit 5 minutes. Or you're thinking, that's 5 minutes of my life I'm never getting back. It's your fault, you clown. coming up on Long Beach Harbor there in the distance. My first airplane ride, my friend's 170. He took off from Whiteman, got us through the Burbank airspace south, and then just said, "Here's your plane." And after circling downtown, we followed the LA River and ended up there in Long Beach Harbor. Alright, in a moment we're going to transition again to here. Just along the coast, these are the beach cities. South Orange County. It's a very economically challenged area, lots of homeless millionaires in Orange County. Some of them are forced to live on their yachts. It's a sad situation, really, for everybody. But I just wanted to show you how pretty it is. I've probably climbed up to about 5,000 feet at this point. That way, when I get over the marine base, where I have to stay 1 mile away from the coast, I've got more than enough gliding room if I run into a problem. I'm not doing anything special flight-wise on this, just getting there and getting back. That's the whole trick. And having lunch in between. I had heard it was a good restaurant, and truth of the matter is, it is. I highly recommend the restaurant at McClellan-Palomar, which I will always have trouble pronouncing. I'll just let you enjoy the view of a small airplane flying over the beach. I have no idea what any of those communities down there are called. I probably did when I was flying, but just looking at this video, and it being 6 months since I took this flight, no clue. Alright, here we are going over the marine base. You can see I've gotten myself out over the water a bit, observing the 1 mile restricted airspace. Also, this whole flight, and every flight, I was doing flight following. So I knew that if I was getting close to any restricted airspace, that ATC would tell me what's what. They're generally not shy about such things. Apparently, when I was editing this, I thought it would be exciting to just watch the entire marine base go by. That's Pacific Coast Highway, Interstate 1, or State 1, California 1. Water's real pretty. Now hopefully this will be the last video where I do the voiceover afterward, because I've got that wonderful cable. I don't have to do that. You can just hear air traffic control. I suppose I could put some air traffic control in the background. That might be interesting. Well, if you stick with this video, or fast forward, I promise you, you get the landing at McClellan. If I remember correctly, it was a pretty good landing. We are coming up on a transition in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And we are definitely in the neighborhood. And, probably did this because I'm about to turn left for the pattern. I've definitely descended at this point, down around 2,000 feet. It was a nice chill day. Oh, there I am cutting power. Just tell by the prop. Sure is pretty down here. Carlsbad area. See the airport up ahead of me, straight off the nose. They probably vectored me in because I had never been here before, so how was I supposed to know where I was? That's a joke, actually, because I had the GPS, I had the charts, I knew exactly where it was. Drinking water. Down there to the right, that's Legoland. We'll fly over it later on in this video. Nice little pockets of houses everywhere. Minutes. It looks like I'm taking a nice, long, slow approach. Because the last thing I want to do now land in that golf course. No, is do a go-around for the very specific aeronautical reason of, at this point in the flight, I am hungry. If I go around, that's another 6 minutes before I get to eat. Adding a little power after cutting it. At some point, I'm going to turn base. I'm in the downwind here. Oh, look at that. Turning base. Probably looking off to my right to see the runway. To turn final. There's the airport. Something we definitely like to see at the end of a flight. You're almost always going to land toward the water because the wind comes off the water. You always want to be landing into the wind. Lots of reasons for that. It gives you more control, more air going over the wings, more control, more lift, all of it. It's also easier to control your airspeed with no wind or into the wind because you've got tailwind. It's pushing you. Alright, here we go. Let's set up a nice, clean landing. How's that? How was that? Nice. Something to be proud of. It only took about 400 landings to get to this point, so practice and not crashing make perfect. Alright, heading to lunch, which I will spare you, lovely viewers. But at the moment, we're going to go to for takeoff. Reliable engine. Alright. And I think for this one, I'm going to do a standard takeoff. Or a short field. But in any case, I'm going to roll out onto 2-4. And I'm going to stop. Because this is my runway. I'm going to go full power with the brakes on, check all the gauges. Now we'll be able to see in a second if this is a short field or a standard. How? By the angle. No, that's just a standard, I think. And we're heading off over the ocean to head back home. Nuys. You know the how it got its name? The area of Van Nuys. The first explorer came up over the hill and looked out over the valley, and it was beautiful. The trees, the lush greenery, and he turned to his friend, looking around, and said, "Van Nuys! Van Nuys!" And for the three of you who are still with me after that bad joke, we are now flying over Legoland, Carlsbad. Lots of parking. Must have been a quiet day. This was midweek, I believe. Nothing like heading out towards the ocean. But not too far. Japan is really a long flight from here. Coming up on 19 minutes. Where has the time gone? Alright, get ready to turn right, so that I do not head to Japan. There we go. Heading north again. There's that same lagoon we flew over. And I'm probably climbing to get up over the incoming flights. think what I really need if I'm going to do more of these voiceovers is color commentary. I suppose I could just record another track and give myself color commentary. What do you think? 2 of me doing these? Probably make this completely unwatchable at that point. LA is quite pretty though. More water. It's me adjusting this in the chair here in the office. Yeah, I'm climbing pretty good. It must have been really cold that day, which makes the air denser. Alright, so we're gonna have a transition here. Should get us up the coast pretty quick. Yep, we are back at that Marine base, Pendleton. Just want to show you how polite I am actually following the law here. Some people say polite, some people say legal. As long as I'm doing it right, right? Alright, rule number 1, finish strong. Actually, I don't think that's rule number 1. Safety is probably rule 1. Quality? Quality is rule 1. I get confused. We've long passed the point of quality being job 1. So we'll go for safety. Be safe when you watch this video. Wear all appropriate safety gear and watch with a friend in the shower. Now, the funny thing about flying next to this particular military base is that they hold the right to go hot anytime they want. Which either means firing off missiles and guns in every direction, or doing a Broadway review. Either one would be pretty hot for the Marines to do. So. Not quite sure which one they do. That's classified information. Now, unfortunately, and here's a spoiler, so spoiler alert, my camera gave out before I got all the way to the landing back at Van Nuys. Someday I will hold a crowdfunding for a better GoPro. But we're now transitioning back over to the South LA area. South Orange County. We're rapidly approaching the end of this video. I'd like to thank all of you who made it all the way here, and as promised at the beginning, your special gift for sticking around is in the mail, on its way, just as a little thank you from me. It'll probably say it's from somebody else, but you know, don't believe it. It's actually, it's that one thing that you're really happy about, and before you say thank you, I'm saying thank you. Thank you for watching. It's really the least I can do, I promise. It's like the LA River down there beneath us. It's actually a contradiction in terms of LA River. Most of it's not in LA. Yeah, people, as far as you can see, we've organized ourselves into squares for better air viewing pleasure. The weather has cooperated keeping all those clouds far away from us. In conclusion, this was a really good flight. I'd like to do it again. It's a really good option if you kind of want to go to Catalina but don't want to fly over that much water. You go here instead. My next flight I am going to do, or a flight coming up, I will do Catalina, because I have a friend who wants to go. And, if they're splitting the bill, it's even better. Alright, time to wrap all this up. Thank you again, seriously, for watching. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below, and I'll answer them as best I can. Take care, and thanks for watching. Safe flight.